So these two sketchbooks are one of my oldest completed sketchbooks that I have. This sketchbook right here I did sophomore year of high school, and this sketchbook I did during the summer of 2017, right before my junior year of high school. These sketchbooks, they may be old and really, really bad, but they gave me the foundation that I needed in order to improve drastically throughout my junior year. This sketchbook right here, I focus more on realism. You can't really call it realism, but I tried to focus, essentially on realism. I didn't know any anatomy. I didn't know how to shade properly. I would shade with my finger. It's really bad, and there were a lot of blank pages in between, but it gave me the drive and the motivation I needed in order to want to improve, and that's what happened in this sketchbook. This sketchbook right here, I filled in about 2 weeks when I went to the Dominican Republic for my mom's wedding, and one of my mom's friend gave me private classes for maybe a week. It was like 5 days, but she gave me the foundation that I needed in order to search up working on anatomy, head anatomy specifically. And drawing from life. She was the one that taught me to look at an object and to draw it and focus on its form with blind contour, single line contour. I took my first ever life drawing class in here. My first and only ever life drawing class, actually. But both of these sketchbooks were extremely important in order for me to improve. So let's get into this one. Just be warned, there's a lot of blank page. Every page that has something, the next page will be completely blank. I wasn't drawing a lot. I wasn't pushing myself or anything. It was just, I don't even know. This is a quote, blank page, tiny head, blank page again. Oh, this is a Zentangle. I loved Zentangles. Sophomore year, I would draw them everywhere, on my arms, on my homework, and Sharpie was my favorite thing ever. It still is one of my favorite mediums, actually. Blank page. I think these are bear gestures. This is how I used to draw gesture. I would do circles to find the form, but I wouldn't render anything, or I just outline, you know. Blank page again. Perspective, which I still need to work on, actually. But these were homework assignments for my art class. Blank page. This is what I mean when I said I wanted to do realism, you know? I didn't know any facial anatomy. I just knew circles, but I didn't know what the circles meant, and I didn't know proportions or anything. Another Zentangle. Oh my god! This is a potato face. This is when I would try to draw creatively, but it wouldn't work out, because again, I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to proportion things. I didn't know the anatomical foundation of anything. So, and I would shade with my finger, and it would just be bad. Blank page. These were my first ever figure drawings. And again with the circles. But it's just so weird to look back at your old work and to just kind of, I don't know. It's so bizarre to see how much I've improved in just 2 years, really. Like anatomy, learning anatomy can teach you so much in the long run. Like, these are just outlines, plain and simple. They're just outlines. I didn't know the anatomical foundation of anything, you know? And it's just so weird to look back at it. Eyes, mouths, 2 lips, I don't know. Blank page. Oh, hands. I, later in my direct observation sketchbook for, winter break of the next year, I would just draw hands on every single page halfway through, and I just improved dramatically so much, but it's so weird what a lot of time and effort can do. This was reference. Like, again with the circles, like, they were everything. creative or reference, I don't know. Blank page. Oh, this was for a charcoal portrait. I remember this, that we had to do in art class. And I didn't want to use a grid. I know, it's stupid. I just wanted to draw right out off the bat. No grid, no nothing. And I ended up looking like an old lady in the full finished piece, but oof. I think these were supposed to be whales that I never did. Blank page. Oh, this was a portrait of my friend Bree, my friend Brittany. We're still really, really good friends. Man, this is so, it's so, I don't know, it's just so weird to just look back at stuff. Oh man. I think that's another gesture. Blank page. This was during a test. I think this was one of my first ever direct observation sketches for people. I never drew people directly. But this guy, he was a complete stranger when I drew him, but the following year he actually ended up dating one of my best friends. These aren't that bad. Creative heads, I guess. I was improving slowly, but, you know, I was improving. I just needed to learn anatomy, which I later did, but it's really old, and oh my gosh, this is nightmare fuel right here. Like, that's nightmare fuel. I don't know, I think that's it. Yep, that is it. Hate that. I mean, you know, old sketchbooks, they show you your creative process. They show you your artistic journey and stuff. So they're really bad, but it's where you start out, you know? You can't really do much better. This sketchbook is where I instantly just improved a lot with my facial anatomy, direct observations and stuff. These were my first ever true direct observations. So my teacher in the Dominican Republic, she had me just draw from direct observation. This was her living room. Just to see where I was at, you know, my skill level, which wasn't great. So she had me draw everything in her room. She had me experiment with line weight, you know, because everything I drew is the same tone. And then she made me do blank contour so I could focus on the shape of objects throughout her house. So yeah, lamps and stuff. I don't know. This is a really, really good process. Oh my gosh. These were, she had me do the same thing with people. So this was her, but she was a lot prettier than this. Yeah, blind contour is something that really is really interesting in regards to the human form. Same thing with hands. She made me do the same thing with hands. And she made me draw hands all the time. So this was me drawing hands with my dominant hand. She had me draw the buildings around us, but I wasn't good at architecture either. I just wasn't good at a lot of things when I started out. But she made me draw them anyway. This was her cat that she had me draw in blind contour. These were blind contour drawings of my mom, of her husband, more of her husband. Like, when I would do blind contour, I wouldn't do it in a single line. You know, I would focus on individual aspects of the person and draw that and then move on. So it wasn't cohesive. I wasn't focusing very much on form, which is what I was supposed to do. Hand drawings with my dominant hand drawings with my left hand. These aren't that bad. I mean, for drawing with my left hand, it's not bad. Yeah. More buildings. That one's not that bad. Oh, is this what I think it is? This was my first figure drawing class. My first and only figure drawing class. And I remember I got really frustrated because I couldn't draw him the way I wanted to. Because I didn't know anatomy. Man, so first I started off with a blind contour of him because, oh man, but I tried charcoal. I didn't like charcoal. I mean, you know, I didn't know anatomy and stuff. And it's really sad too because I haven't been able to go to another figure drawing class since, because in my area, the closest ones are either 2 hours away or they're when I'm at school. So it's a struggle, especially with portfolios for college and stuff. Man, but these are, yeah, I don't know. Like, these are my foundations, you know? This took me forever. I think I spent like 20 minutes on this, but I later moved on to, she wanted me to do more figure drawings, but from photo reference, so I did that. And you know, it's okay. So, yeah. Oh, and another thing with this sketchbook, so a lot of old stuff is more towards the back and a lot of new stuff is towards the front because I would just open the sketchbook and work on it. Some charcoal stuff. This page that's covered by the charcoal, it was, I copied drawings from other artists to see like their style and how they were working on things. Oil pastel. Ooh, I got some oil pastels and I was really excited about that with the colors and experimenting with texture and stuff. This is where I started learning facial anatomy. I think this was this Proco? I don't think this was Proco. I don't remember who made this video, but you can find it on YouTube if you look up like learning face anatomy or something. And this is where I actually tried to improve on that and to work on my facial anatomy and stuff. Charcoal, faces, figure drawing. I would draw the same figure over and over trying to improve. But again, if you don't know anatomy, you're just going to do outlines. Shapes. I loved working with shapes. I still do like working with shapes, but I don't know. Right now I focus more on making sure everything's proportional than experimentation, which I have to improve on. Ah, man. So even back then, I always wanted to be an animator. Like, since freshman year, I've always wanted to be an animator and to go to Calarts, but I never had the foundation to actually do so. So in this sketchbook, I actually started learning and started, I don't know, I was just improving a lot more than in the previous sketchbook. And this sketchbook I filled really quickly. I filled it in like 2 weeks. Oil pastel. But it's really weird because there's some stuff in here that I see that I actually learned when I went to an animation course. See, this is what I mean with the head anatomy stuff. This was New Masters Academy, I believe. It's a 3-hour video teaching you all about how to draw the head. I didn't do the full 3 hours, clearly, in this sketchbook, but I later did, and it really helped solidify everything. See, I don't know, and I wanted to improve. I really did. So I would do these sketchbook plannings. So when I would get a new sketchbook, I always wanted to plan it. I think this is when I was planning my Calarts sketchbook, because I've always wanted to go to Calarts again, but I would just fill pages with all of these plannings on what every single page was going to be, and to make sure everything was perfect and stuff, when I didn't know the basics of anatomy. And I'm actually currently working on my Calarts sketchbook, and it's nothing like I thought it would be, you know? I just open it, and I just draw. I don't stress about it. Zentangles. And so this is what I mean when there's older stuff towards the end of the book and newer stuff towards the beginning, because this is before I took any of the facial anatomy or head anatomy classes. And I don't know, I wanted to do this little animatic thing. Like, see, again, I didn't know how heads worked at all. So yeah, I made a little caricature, technically, of myself. And again, planning out sketchbooks. This was a drawing that I never finished of one of my old friends, Peter. And this is the last page. This I actually don't mind. I really like the colors in this one. But I remember this oil pastel drawing got wet. And it split the back of the sketchbook into a toned page. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, that's it, really. That's the end. So again, these 2 sketchbooks are really the reason why I was able to get a jump start during my junior year and really focus on improving and drawing directly from direct observation. And without these 2 sketchbooks, I definitely wouldn't be at the level that I'm at right now. So If you have any older sketchbooks or if you're just starting out, just remember it's a process that takes years. These are life, and without these two sketchbooks, I wouldn't be at anywhere where I am now. So just push through, because once you start learning the foundations of anatomy and drawing from life and drawing every single day, you'll get there. You'll improve. So yeah, these are my two oldest sketchbooks from high school, and they're one of my worst as well. But you know what? It's all a process. So yeah, I just wanted to share these two sketchbooks. Sorry for the really long video. But yeah, things like this I like to talk about because it's all a process. Yeah, thank you for watching, and see you later.